All right, everybody, we're going to talk about cutting. And specifically, when we go into camp, we're going to talk about if the dribble penetration comes from the 45, then the opposite baseline cuts. And if the baseline drives, then the opposite 45 cuts. First, what we're going to talk about is just your typical cuts. When you're on ball side, if you're being denied, if you see the back of a defender's head, these are times to cut. So this guy catches in pinch post sort of action. When he turns, this guy is denying the pass. So that's basically giving him the opportunity to backdoor cut. All right. On this possession, you'll see the post player ghost the screen so he can catch it in space. He's attempting to do a dribble handoff. If the defender denies him from getting that, then you backdoor cut. So he's not allowing the dribble handoff. You just cut to the rim. All right. And especially in the NBA, they do a lot of dribble handoffs where they have to make reads. The shooting is typically really good. And if the guy isn't going to let you cut and there's open post, there's another cut. All right, obviously here Joker has the ball, so something great is bound to happen playmaking wise. Now, knowing what pass to throw when is important. So if you notice, the defender is going to be in line with the passer. So unlike the other passes that were bounce passes, he knows to throw over the top to give his teammate the same opportunity. And then finally, just know who you are as a player. So like if you're this is Jamal Murray, obviously teams don't want him having the ball, so teams would deny you a lot. So if you're a really good player, you need to really learn to have the footwork to cut or come off a screen. Nobody wants him sprinting off that screen, so here comes the back door, and that's a bounce pass. All right, so let's get into to the cuts that we want you all to look for. The previous ones are obvious. Now we're going to start touching the 45 cuts and the baseline cuts and things like that. And usually it's players like here, I'm going to use Tony Allen. And Tony Allen wasn't a great shooter, but he was a really good slasher to the basket. And when you're a good player, you're going to use your footwork, you're going to use your eyes, you're going to use your hands to get yourself open. So this first play, this is essentially the 45 driving. And once he drives, Raymond Felton's really tight on him. He just kind of throws him off and then creates great opportunity for himself. And Tony Allen's kind of interesting because since he's not a great shooter, he's learned to cut from like the 15-foot angle because NBA players aren't going to follow to the 3-point line. But here, he does see mistakes. There's dribble penetration, and although it's on the same side as him, look at the footwork. This is bad footwork. You know, if NBA players are falling asleep and putting the wrong foot forward, then Kid your age would do it. So here comes the backdoor cut, gets him an easy layup. So learning how to cut and move without the ball is essential. You won't always have the ball in your hand. All right, so here, got to be able to make point five decisions. They set a pin down or something like it, and the defender gets hung on the screen. So immediately Chandler Parsons turns the corner. Now we know he's going to get two on the ball, which puts us in a good situation. So keep this in mind. Even if you're not a guy who can create a situation on the bounce where you get a second guy to guard you, if you become a quick decision maker, you can still create that same opportunity for yourself if y'all are running action. So now that he's about to drive, I think Tony Allen cuts late, but we're going to be teaching you a lot. Don't cut until the dribble penetration happens, not before. So now that it's happening, this guy has to see how much help he needs to provide or not. And here's something that Chandler Parsons does because Tony Allen actually does cut a little late here. He hangs in the air and buys time for Tony Allen to actually cut. All right. And sometimes you have to either throw people open, you have to learn to buy time. So we're going to back it up so you can see the full motion. Tony Allen cuts late, he hangs, and then throws it last minute for an easy dunk. All right. So I think it's getting pretty obvious now that like this is a 45, so you know the cut is going to come from this side. Right now, it's five guys on the court, but when we teach you, it's going to be 45 drive baseline cuts. And this rule, the in the NBA anyway, the slasher is going to cut and the shooter stays wide. If this was Tony Allen, he would cut, and since Tony Allen's here, he's going to be the guy to cut, and the other guy stays. But remember, the dribble penetration happens. He cuts and he learns to kind of rest in space, which is another big thing to do. Some people just cut through full speed no matter what, but if you're open, just kind of rest in space, take your easy layup. So here again, we have a drive, top of the key, which means either person can cut. But again, because there's dribble penetration first, eyes are on the ball. They don't know Tony Allen's gone. he gets an easy reverse layup. And that's a layup you're going to have to learn if you're going to be a good cutter. A lot of times guys are going to be in the way, and the only thing that's going to be available is the reversed layup. All right, same thing's happening here. Tony Allen's in the corner. We get a second, third guy to guard. So now the off-ball defenders are either in rotation. A lot of times they lose track of you. So Tony Allen's along the baseline again for an easy finish. All right, so immediately Chandler Parsons puts a guy in jail, which means if he keeps that situation, it's 5-on-4. So now he starts to drive because a guy's behind him. So somebody has to help. So this is a high IQ play that people don't think about. And because of that, uh, their eyes are off the ball. Tony Allen thinks about setting the back screen. Then he notices there's space here. So he just cuts the space. And again, Chandler Parsons waits for him to finish his cut. All right, so a pump fake does wonders for you. And because that gets the guy closer, even Paul Gasol, even though he's not a dribble guy, it allows him to drive. So I'm sure you know by now where this cut is probably going to come from. 45 drive. Tony Allen cuts, but it's going to be a little different this time. Zach Randolph, another big man who stays in the paint a lot. Tony Allen has to cut across the top. So remember, cutters don't just need to go by rules and say, I'm always going to cut on the baseline. You need to cut to space. All right, so again, we get some action. It makes it an easier drive to get two on the ball. So now this is the 45. So of course the baseline is going to cut. For a second, Gordon Hayward loses Tony Allen. And there he goes, getting another easy bucket. So what we're going to do at this camp is to make sure you not only know how to move without the ball, because unless you're the point guard, you're going to not have the ball a lot more than you're going to have it. All right. So you need to know what to do during that time. But for the guys who are driving, because these are the rules, you're going to get plenty of opportunity at learning to throw guys open, learning to talk while you're dribbling because you know who's supposed to cut, being able to throw interior passes. All these things are huge skills that you need to know beyond drive and kick. But if you can drive and throw interior passes for easy looks, that's going to really separate you as a player.